Hey guys, welcome back to Destin Reads Romance. I'm Destin, and today I'm going to be talking about my June TBR. I've not done one of these in a while, and I'm very excited about it. I might have been a little overzealous when I wrote down my TBR. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm a mood reader, and so it's very hard for me to stick to my TBR that I've set for myself. I will completely go off the rails and forget about what I originally said that I wanted to do. Most of it's like rebelling against what sometimes feels like an assignment, but in the moment, like while I'm making this TBR, this is exactly what I want to read in June, but sometimes that changes. So anyway, I'm gonna start off with some new releases that I'm very excited about, then just some other random ones that I have on my radar, as well as my book club picks from book clubs that I like to participate in, and I haven't really gotten to participate these past couple of months, but summer is my time, so June and July, definitely gonna be reading these book club picks, and then my podcast books that Juliet and I review on our podcast, Smart Women Read Romance. So let's kick it off with the new releases. The first new release that I'm very excited for is Filthy King. Now, I'm much more excited now that I heard Jen, who received an ARC for Filthy King. The reason why I say I'm much more excited after I heard what she had to say about it is one of my nitpicks for this 5 Points Mob series, which I very much adore. Like, I adore this family. The O'Donnellys are just, I love them. Some of my favorite mafia men, but the more recent books in the series have more point of views besides the main couple, and I'm one that doesn't normally love that. I like to stick with my couple. Jen told me Serena Ackroyd keeps most of the point of views for Filthy King for the hero and the heroine, and I think there's maybe like 4 other points of views throughout the entire book, which I'm very excited about. So anyway, this is going to be the second book about Aiden Jr. because something happened at the end of the last book that was very momentous, and I don't want to spoil it for those of you who might be just starting the 5 Points Mob series, or the Filthy Fecker series is also affectionately known, but there's something big that happened, and so the focus is back on Aiden Jr. He already has his heroine, but it seems like there's going to be some trouble in paradise because the synopsis does mention that he has lied to her. I'm not sure. I can't remember a lie that he told Savannah, but I also haven't reread Filthy Hot yet. I'm gonna have to ask Jen if I should reread Filthy Hot before. Anyway, so that's my first new release on June 2nd. Then on June 16th, Give Me More by Sarah Kate comes out. This is the third book in the Salacious Players Club series, and I really like the way that she combines both taboo elements and kink. It's just really been working for me. Praise I especially really loved. I appreciated Eyes on Me, but I'm most looking forward to Give Me More because it's going to be an MMF relationship between a married couple and a best friend. So the setup for this entire series is that each of the heroes and the heroines, a part of the series, they had previously worked together. When that job went down the drain, they decided to open up their sex club because all of them have kinks, and you are slowly learning about what everyone's kinks are. Only the first 2 really have been revealed. The first one is a dom-sub relationship with a praise kink, and then the second one is a voyeur kink. Give Me More is definitely my most anticipated out the series because I just love a good MMF. And I feel like Sarah Kate could do something really great with this one. So one of the heroes is single, and he's a notorious man whore. And apparently he and the married couple are going on this road trip to go tour other sex clubs to get like new ideas for their own. But during the course of this road trip, the married guy decides to ask the single best friend, I want you to sleep with my wife. And apparently the single best friend has kind of been harboring this secret longing for the wife and also the husband. And so he's just like, can I have my cake and eat it too? And so I'm really excited to see how this relationship develops because I kind of called it after book 1, especially after book 2, there was some definite undercurrents that was happening, and I was like, please, 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 can the third one be about the married couple and the man whore? And it is, and I'm so excited about it. And then Jen has a theory for the 4th book, which I won't say anything if you haven't read book 1, Praise, but I'd be totally down with that one. I don't think it's been confirmed what the 4th book is about, the trope or who it involves, but Jen's theory is really cool. Then I have My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This one comes out on June 6th. Now, I don't know what this is about. The reason why I put this on my TBR is because I don't know if you were aware, but there was kind of like a scandal that went along with the previous book cover for this book, My Killer Vacation, and I just kind of felt really bad for Tessa Bailey. I don't always love her writing or her romances, but I have loved a couple in the past, and this one really wasn't on my radar, but I just feel so badly for what happened about that, so I was just like, I want to support her. So I stuck it on my list, but we're gonna find out what this is about. Okay, so this one says it's a spicy murder mystery. Okay, I'm down. It looks very, very beachy though. So it was supposed to be a relaxing vacation in Cape Cod. Just me and my beloved brother, but discovering a corpse in our rental house really throws a wrench into our tanning schedule. That's like my worst nightmare. Just saying. Now a rude, crude bounty hunter has arrived on the back of his motorcycle to catch the killer and refuses to believe I can be helpful. Despite countless hours of true crime podcast listening, this sounds like something that I would do. But apparently she's a teacher. Okay, that's all I want to know. There's like a whole another half of a synopsis that I just really don't read. That's enough for me. I'm actually really excited about this now, so I'm glad I put it on my TBR. Then I have June 1st by Jennifer Hartman on this TBR. Recently I read Still Beating with Crystal, which was a fun buddy read that I did, and then I watched Tori's Jennifer Hartman recommendation video. I'll link that one down below, and June 1st was something that she recommended. Now I don't want to read the synopsis for this one. I had such a good time kind of guessing what the book was going to be about for Still Beating, because when I picked it up, it was only because Crystal was reading it. I had seen other people on Instagram posting pictures of it, but I never really had time to read any of the posts because it was still when I was in school. So anyway, I just had a lot of fun going straight in without knowing anything about Still Beating, and I kind of want to do that for June 1st. So I'm not going to read the synopsis for that one. You can go look it up yourself if you are so curious. Then I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to include this one on my TBR, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna have to hold myself to it because like I said, mood reader, and I will procrastinate certain books and then end up by not reading them, but this one I kind of want to do. So I'm gonna put It Ain't Me Babe by Telly Cole on this list. Now I did receive this in the Mystic box a couple of months back. They did Telly Cole, and it was Sick Fucks and It Ain't Me Babe. I've never really been interested in Telly Cole, like not at all. I know that Jen, again, she did read the Hades Hangman series, and she said that she did like it, but there's some darkness in it, obviously. I mean, there's different kinds of dark that I can tolerate. There's certain kinds that I find I'm more able to bear without it like weighing me down, but I'm kind of worried about the series. But I do have this book, and Crystal also read this one, and she still thinks about it, so I'm so curious about it. So I know that it's a motorcycle romance, but let's see. I have never read the synopsis before. Sitting never felt so good. Many years ago, two children from completely different worlds forged a connection, a fateful connection, an unbreakable bond that would change their lives forever. Salome, is that how you say her name? Salome? Oh shit. I need to go listen to how you pronounce his name. I'm gonna go with Salome. That sounds good. Salome knows only one way to live, under Prophet David's rule. Sounds in the commune she calls home. Okay, I was like, sounds cultish. Strict faith. And apparently they're all fenced in. The fence that cages her keeps her trapped in an endless cycle of misery. And apparently a horrific event sets her free. And she is thrust into the protective arms of a person she believes she would never see again. River Styx Nash knows one thing for certain in life. He was born and bred to wear a cut. Raised in a turbulent world of sex, Harleys, and drugs, Styx unexpectedly has the heavy burden of the Hades Hangman. Gavel thrust upon him in all the ripe old age of 26, much to his rival's delight. Oh, he has a speech impediment. I think I remember Jen saying something about that. He quickly learns to deal with his haters. Haters are the most powerful motivators. Powerful fists, an iron jaw, and the skillful use of his treasured German blade, has earned him a fearsome reputation as a man not... Okay, this is such a long one. Blech. He has one rule, apparently, never let anyone get too close, but a young woman is found injured on his lot, a woman who looks uncannily familiar, a woman who clearly does not belong in his world, yet a woman he feels reluctant to let go. So, that's it. Okay, we're gonna give it a whirl. We're gonna give it a whirl and see what we think about it. I say we, like you're gonna read it with me. I mean, some of you might be along for the ride. Okay, and then I put Fall Boys by Penelope Douglas on this list because it was one of my most anticipated reads for the first half of 2022. I didn't get to it in the first half. It came out during my semester. I do own it, but I never got to it. So this is a second gen series that she's writing about the children of the characters that she wrote in the Fall Away series, which the first one is Bully. Let's see, I have Bully. Don't I? Oh no, my sister never returned it to me. Claudia, I want my book back. Just letting you know. And I truly have not seen any reviews for Fall Boys, so that's kind of the way I like to go into reading a book, so I don't feel like I'm spoiled for it. I'm a little bit nervous about Fall Boys because the last few books that Penelope Douglas has written, I have not loved. I DNF Trish Six Venom. I didn't care for Credence because I didn't care for the hero at all. Like, I wish that she was with somebody else. So yeah, I am a little bit nervous about Fall Boys, but I'm crossing my fingers that it'll give me the same feeling that I got when reading the Fall Away series, which I did reread at the end of last year, and I did still like them. So I don't know. I just hope that they have the same vibe. Now, during the month of June, I am going to do a themed reading vlog. I want to do some monster romances. I've just been in the mood for it. Also, our Patreon pick, which hasn't been voted on yet, the theme is Aliens too, and I was very excited about that. I'm just in the mood for some monster romances, and there's lots and lots and lots that I've seen recommended over and over again, and I decided to put them on a vlog. Now, the vlog, when is it going to happen? That's going to depend on one book in particular, which is The Company of Fiends by Catherine Moon. I loved A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, which is the first book in the series, and we're switching to like a new heroine, a new group of monsters for The Company of Fiends, but she had pushed back the release date. It was supposed to be in May, and now I think the tentative release date is June 23rd, so that's at the very end. If for some reason this release date is pushed back, then I'm not going to wait for it to come out, obviously, and I'm just going to stick something else on there. But The Company of Fiends is on there. It's a reverse harem monster romance, and I'm really excited about that one. I'm really excited to continue in that world. Next, I have Soul Eater by Lily Mayne. It's a book that Jen has been wanting me to read. I mean, she campaigns really hard for some of these books, and I definitely trust her judgment, but it's an MM monster romance. So it says 20 years ago, monsters rose on Earth and began a new age of civilization, one where humans lived in military control, cramped and dirty cities along the coast, and the majority of the United States is known as the Wastes, a lawless, desolate, and dangerous place teeming with monsters that have claimed a land of their own, including Wen the Soul Eater. Okay, so this is apparently a monster-human romance, which is my favorite kind, and it's MM romance. That's all I want to know about it, and it's also her debut novel, so I'm very, very curious to see how that goes. The next one you'll probably be familiar with. I know that it's been featured on some book clubs already, but I've not taken the plunge and read it because, again, Katie Robert, her books don't always work for me, but I'm so curious about The Dragon's Bride. Like, I want to love this one so bad. So apparently the heroine is married to like a monster of a man, like a regular man, and she's going to make a deal with a demon. So she has to basically sacrifice herself, or 7 years of freedom and service. And it says she doesn't expect to be put on an auction block in a room full of literal monsters and sold to the highest bidder to Saul, a dragon. Okay, so that's all I want to know. I did not know that this was like an auction thing, so that's really fun. And then finally, Deceived by the Gargoyles by Lillian Lark. Okay, I've seen like the first book in this series, Something Something Kraken, but the cover of this one just, I'm loving this almost like throwback historical style cover for monster romances. Like, it just gives me life, okay? So I wanted to pick this one up. It says, a curvy librarian looking to start a family, a clan of gargoyles, and the deception that starts it all. Is this reverse harem as well? Okay, so the heroine is a witch, and she's being courted by this gargoyle, but he's hiding that he has two other mates apparently, and this does seem like it is, if not a reverse harem, then it definitely polyamorous in that they have relationships with each other. Like, some characters have relationships with another person, which is kind of how A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor was. There was two male characters who had a relationship in that one, and then all the male characters had a relationship with the heroine. So I don't know, I'm very intrigued by that. And as for the book club picks, we have Love and War by Shirra Lynn, which Rake Appreciation Society is going to review in June. I don't know if the date has been announced yet. I know that, again, this is one of the books that Jen just fiercely loves. I remember when she got the arc for it because we message every single day. Like, Jen, Crystal, and I, we message every single day, and she would send me voice messages on Instagram crying about how much this book moved her. It's set in World War II and it's an interracial romance. So I'm very, very curious to finally read this one. And then the historical Hellions are going to do Annie's Song, which I'm a little bit wary about Annie's Song because Jen and Crystal also featured this one on the Rake Appreciation Society as well a couple of months ago, and I wasn't able to read it because it was during my semester, but I know that both Jen and Crystal felt very differently about it. So I'm curious about it, but I'm also worried. Like, I'm gonna love it, I don't want to hate it, but we'll see which side I fall on for that one. And then of course I have the podcast books. The first book is Taken by the Horror King by Zoe Draven. It's something that I've read and loved. We've already recorded that episode for this one. Then we have Run Posey Run, which was a last minute addition to the June podcast list. I read it for the Mafia Romance Readathon and immediately I was like, Juliet has to read this like now during the summer when she has lots of free time, and I'm so glad that I put it on there. The Devil is a Marquess by Elisa Braden. I totally could have grabbed the book, but I forgot, so I'm not gonna get up. I love Elisa Braden so much. She is my favorite indie historical romance author ever, and I would put her up there with my favorite traditionally published authors as well. I just really love Elisa Braden. So yeah, another Elisa Braden is going to be featured on the podcast. And then for the final week of our episodes is going to be a mini-sode, and Juliet and I are going to talk about our favorite Grumpy Sunshine romances. So all in all, I think that June's looking really great. We'll see how many other, I already know a couple other books that I'm interested in reading. Like, I'm very interested in tackling Devney Perry's Lark Cove series. They're on Anyplay. And the reason why I want to read them is because she's doing a Kickstarter for these alternate covers, and they're hardback, they're beautiful, they're gold foil. I'll pop them up right here. They're also very expensive. They're so expensive. So I might actually start reading a couple books in that series through Anyplay. I always like to have an audiobook going throughout the day. And if I really love one, I might get one of those books, but like, ooh, those are pricey. Anyway, that's why I want to read those, but I didn't include it on my like official TBR. There's tons of books like that. I'm like, I'm very interested, but I don't know if I'll get to it. Okay, that's it. That's all I want to add. Let me know what you want to read in June. Are there some new releases that I missed? I know that I missed some new releases. Like, I've just not been in the loop like I used to be, so I kind of feel like I was scrambling. I was like, I know that there's so many books I'm looking forward to in 2022, and they're all just like escaping me, but hopefully I hit, you know, the majority of the ones that I did want to read. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what you have on your TBR. If you like this video, go to big thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe to get notified of any future videos that I do. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, life's better with a little HEA. Bye guys.